Now it gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, Lieutenant Colonel James Stocks. He's a Lieutenant Colonel, graduated from Guilford College in Greensboro. He received his commission in the Marine Corps in 1990 and was subsequently assigned as a logistics officer. He's been serving all over the East and the West. I've got notes here that he was serving as supportive operations in Norway, also in Japan. In 2006, he was assigned the Chief Staff of G4 Operations for the Operation Iraqi Freedom, so he's been to the sandbox. And he is now the commanding officer of the 4th Landing Support Battalion at Fort Lewis. It was my pleasure to be out there a couple of weeks ago when they had Marine Day out there, where they brought all their equipment out and their simulators. I made a mistake of getting into a simulator driving a truck, and after I got it going, I had to get out of it because I was disoriented and I didn't want to get sick in their equipment. Lieutenant Colonel Stocks has a Master of Science in Business Administration from Boston U, and graduated the basic school, the Amphibious Warfare School, and Command and Staff non-resident program. His personal decorations include the Bronze Star, Meritorious Service Medal with a Gold Star, the Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal with 2 Gold Stars, and the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal. Lieutenant Stocks and his wife Patty have 3 children, Benjamin, Matthew, and Caroline. With that, give me a great deal to recognize Colonel Stocks.
It is an honor to be with you today on what is a beautiful day, but also a day that we commemorate and celebrate our nation's most precious treasure, the men and women who willingly gave their lives in defense of liberty and freedom. Memorial Day, many of you may know, was originally called Decoration Day, and it was established by General John Logan of the Grand Old Army of the Republic on the 5th of May in 1868. I'd like to share with you a few excerpts from his order that established the day. The 30th day of May, 1868, is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. Let us gather around their sacred remains and garland the passionless mounds above them with the choicest flowers of springtime. Let us raise above them the dear old flag they saved from dishonor. And clearly General Logan had a focus on the Civil War at that time, and actually buried here in this cemetery is a Medal of Honor recipient from the Civil War, 2nd Lieutenant Jesse T. Barak of the 57th Regiment U.S. Colored Infantry. As time passed, the holiday was expanded or grew so that it came to recognize all of our nation's men and women who had died in our nation's battles and had sacrificed their lives. Speaking to that, also buried here in this hallowed ground is Sergeant First Class Nathan Chapman, who was the first American serviceman killed in hostile action in Afghanistan in 2002. Our nation continues to battle tyranny and those that would threaten liberty. So as we gather here in this beautiful and peaceful place, let us solemnly remember and pay homage to those generations of heroes who have given that last full measure of sacrifice to their country. Let us also celebrate the greatness of their lives as much as we recognize the honor of their death and the magnitude of their sacrifice. Former President Ronald Reagan once said, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children and their bloodlines. It must be fought for, protected, and handed off to them to do the same." We stand here among the markers of the honorable men and women who lived and died so that we may continue to be a free and prosperous people. They fought and died for the clean and decent things of life, so that we could live our lives as we choose, and others could do the same. We could worship in whatever faith we choose. We could be free in body and mind, and our children could be free. They did not choose death, but they accepted death as the cost of freedom. And they chose death, and they chose freedom for you and me. And so let us quietly remember, our actions here today will neither add nor detract from the nobility of their sacrifice, but it is in our acts of tribute that we show our gratitude for these fallen heroes who stood in the breach for us. That they did not value their lives more than death, so they did not value their lives more than honor, and so they did not shrink from death. And it is in these moments of remembrance that they inspire us and future generations to greatness. If I may borrow another line from General Logan in his original order, let us never forget the cost of a free and undivided republic. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel.